Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Nina Silic, nutrition and lifestyle coach, and today I'm going to tell you 11 things I wish I knew when I first started dieting.
Okay, hold up a second. It's actually not 11 things, it's 9 things. Clearly, I did not have enough coffee that day, but that's okay. Remember, it's 9 things. All right, carry on.
Okay, so I have had over 10 years in the health and fitness industry, and I can tell you right now, I have made so many mistakes, especially when it comes to dieting. Back when I started, back in my day, there was no Instagram, there was barely any social media, there was just Facebook. So there was a very limited amount of information out there, and it was very, very confusing to know what was the right thing to do when it came to dieting and to make sure that was sustainable for long-term health. Yeah, so really for me, it was really about trial and error and learning what worked, what didn't work, what was sustainable for my health and what was very detrimental to my health. So I want to share with you guys the things I've learned to stop you going through learning everything the hard way like I did. The first thing I wish I had known was that health and happiness are not defined by how lean you are. Think about that for a second. I used to associate how lean I was, how much body fat I had, and how much I could see my abs. That would define how happy I was in life, which does not work for longevity, because let me tell you something, if you are not happy with yourself as you are, no matter what body fat you are, if you don't learn to love your whole self as a person, it doesn't matter how lean you are, how shredded you get, however you want to call it, it's not going to make you happy. So you need to find your happiness first, and then reaching your health and body composition goals is going to just be that icing on the cake for your happiness. The second thing I wish I knew was the scale is not be all and all. Okay, how many of you jump on the scale and you weigh yourself and maybe that number is not what you wanted to see that day? We've all been there, maybe a pound or two or a kilo or two up, and you're like, oh my God, my whole day is ruined. I gained some weight. You need to let that go. The scale does not define you. It should not define your mood for the day. It is just a form of measurement to track your progress, and it is only one form of measurement out of many. So just let that go. The scale is not be all end all. It's just one form of measure. Remember that. The third thing I wish I knew was, and you guys are all going to relate to this, cheat meals can actually ruin your progress. Yes, that whole cheat meal where we diet really hard all week and restrict ourselves like crazy, and then you eat this glorious meal, and it's usually a full day of eating, let's be real, it's never a cheat meal, we always go overboard. And it's like, yes, and then the next day you feel bloated, gross, fluid retained, and like you've gained heaps of weight, and then you just do that cycle all over again. Okay, this is why. Cheat meals can actually blow your calories out of the water to the point where you are no longer in a calorie deficit. Obviously it's just one day, but we look at your calories for a whole week period. So even if you're dieting and eating 1,200 calories a day for the week, and you eat 4,000 calories in one day on the weekend, you can put yourself into a maintenance or a surplus and gain weight. So cheat meals should be tracked. The fourth thing I wish I knew is that quick fixes do not last. I've tried all the diets, you guys. I remember even doing something called the lemon detox diet where you drink liquid for like, I don't know how long, 2 weeks or something when I was way, way, way younger. Yeah, all those quick fixes where you're like, I need to lose 10 kilos yesterday, do not work. They are not sustainable, they do not last. You have to remember that fat loss is a slow process if it's gonna be sustainable. The fifth thing, calorie restriction. So restricting your calories really, really aggressively to the extreme can actually lead to binge eating. Have we all been there where we've been restricting our food, eating super clean, quote unquote, and then just binging out on the weekend or whenever you see cookies in front of you or the Oreos or the ice cream, and you just uncontrollably eat and you can't stop yourself. This is because sometimes when you restrict calories a really, really aggressive amount, you can't control yourself. Your body, you only have so much willpower that you can use before you just give in. So really remember that the extremes don't work and you don't need to restrict, or it can lead to binge eating and overeating. Okay, the sixth thing, the all or nothing mindset does not work. I used to be that. I used to be like, okay, I'm either on and I'm dieting and I'm training, everything is perfect to a T, or I'm not. I'm a slob, not training, I'm eating all the things, okay? It doesn't work. It's consistency that is key for the long run. So you're better off being 80% on point 100% of the time, rather than being 100% on point 30-40% of the time, because then you're constantly on, off, on, off. So remember, consistency is key. You're better off being marginally perfect most of the time than super perfect a small amount of the time. The seventh thing I wish I knew, that tracking your food is such a great tool to learn about food. I never used to track my food. I always used to follow a meal plan, and it was always really strict, clean only foods. And when I say clean, I mean whole foods and nothing processed, for example. Tracking my food intake, like on an app like MyFitnessPal, for example, really helps you understand what is in different foods. It helps you understand the nutritional content of foods, and it helps you understand that there are no good and bad foods. There is just food. So don't stress about it too much. Okay, the eighth, how do you say eighth? The number 8 thing I wish I knew was that fat loss is actually a slow process. I remember whenever I first started dieting, I always thought I could lose 10 kilos in 10 weeks, for example, or, overnight in the first couple of weeks, because your favorite magazines and even now things you see on social media, you can see sometimes people show you they lose a huge amount of weight in such a short period of time. But what you have to remember is you don't know the context of that. You don't know how extreme that is. You don't know whether they managed to keep that weight off. To understand how to keep fat off in the long run, you need to know that it needs to be sustainable and slow so that you can incorporate that into your lifestyle. The 9th thing I wish I knew, I really wish I knew this, is that you are not invincible. Your body is not invincible. As much as you might feel like a superhero on the outside, on the inside you are not. Your body is very, very good at defending itself. So the more you push it to the extreme, the more it's gonna turn on something called its self-defense system, and your body is going to adapt to all the things you throw at it. To the point where personally, I went through such bad health problems and hormone problems, and it took me years to fix because I thought I could push my body to the limit and didn't think it could break. Well, let me tell you, it can, and when it does, it's no fun. So remember, you can only push yourself so far. You can only push those extremes so far. So make sure you listen to your body, you look after yourself, and you look after your health for the long run. Okay, so those are 9 things I wish I knew when I first started dieting. There are so many more things I could add, but I think those are the key things to get you started. And remember, everyone starts somewhere. So you just have to start the process. You might not necessarily get to where you want to be the first time you start dieting, but it's about learning from every single experience. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe. You have to subscribe, it's really important. If you want to connect with me, you can always do that too. I love hearing from you guys, but until next time.